Hi there, I'm Johanna Lee, and today I wanted to talk about 3 hotkeys on Google Sheets that I've taken for granted up to this point. And the reason why I have taken these for granted is because I was shown how they are not available in Mac Excel. And I know I'm probably beating a dead horse about this, but really being on a Mac for Excel purposes, I've really learned kind of what I've taken for granted and what keystrokes I use, and then nothing happens. So what I did as an experiment today at work is anytime I would do a keystroke that wouldn't work, I would try it in Google Sheets, and a couple times it actually did work. And so my appreciation and neglect for Google Sheets up to this point is starting to be rectified. So a lot of people that I know, they use Google Sheets for work or for their personal life, and so you know, similar to a Mac, you're not able to get into hotkey world, as I like to say, by hitting the Alt key and seeing where all the hotkeys and keystrokes are for doing something without a mouse. But there are a few kind of embedded that are identical to a PC Mac version. So the 3 that I want to go through today are mostly related to borders and strikethroughs. So as you can see on the screen here, this is a mock data set that I just pulled down from Mockaroo, and it has some wonky bold borders around here. So for example, you know, these 2 rows, those shouldn't be bordered. They have a border, I don't know why they are. And so the keystroke for this is going to be Ctrl+Shift and then negative, or the minus sign, subtracting sign. And so that is a really easy way to kind of get rid of borders that are really weird. You know, if you can do Ctrl+A to select the whole thing, if you don't want borders at all in your whole sheet, an easy way to do that is Ctrl+A and then Ctrl+Shift negative. So you're minusing the borders. That's kind of how I view that keystroke. On the flip side, a lot of times you'll want kind of an outside border on something. So say just I want this whole row, this credit card number bordered around it. So that keystroke is Ctrl+Shift+7. And so I really like that one because it's very unique. So anytime, you know, something is missing, or say I add a row here and I'm pulling down data, you know, Ctrl+Shift+7 is really going to help me kind of like make this identical to the rows above. So those are the 2 border ones. Those aren't really, they don't equate to kind of PC alt world again. They're just something that maybe I've accidentally done and taking a mental note of. So again, the first 2 definitely related to borders, Ctrl+Shift- to subtract the borders, and then Ctrl+Shift+7 to have a singular border around a cell. So that's the first 2 that I find really helpful. The other one that I find helpful is the strikethrough. So the reason why I find this most helpful and why I noticed it in PC is because I used to not have strikethrough as a formatting tool up on the front. Same thing here, like sometimes you won't be able to see it right away. You can kind of go into your formatting tools and kind of find it that way. Usually I'm Googling everything where it's like, how do you do this in Google Sheets? But because this is available in the PC Excel version, I also do it here. So as you can see, it's Ctrl+5, and so 5 is a strikethrough. And so I do this a lot with to-do lists. So for example, one of the cool things, and I should make a video about the great things with Google Sheets, but you can insert checkboxes in Google Sheets. And so say you have like a checkbox list. So, you know, I have my checkboxes here and my to-do list here. So say it's record video. So after I tell you this hotkey, which is the 3rd and final one, Ctrl+5, then I can kind of strike through that item. So I find that pretty helpful from a Google Sheets perspective, just because I use it for kind of one-off tasks normally and not big Excel projects for work. So just as a reminder, Ctrl+Shift- to get rid of borders, Ctrl+Shift+7 to include a border, and then Ctrl+5 to strike through. So I hope you find these helpful. Like I said, you know, I've kind of talked with a couple people about Excel in general because that is where my heart is at, and they say that they use Sheets more. And so I've been trying to kind of brainstorm ways to use hotkeys and use efficiency hacks in Sheets more so. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, feel free to comment below, and if you have any tips like this, feel free to comment as well. So at any rate, I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in my next one. Thanks.